Hey there! Welcome to my studio. My name is Rena and I am the owner-operator of Small Town Stitchery. Okay, it's not really a studio, it's just the corner of my basement, but it works for what I want to do. This is Lydia. She is my Qnique 16X Elite long arm machine. Some of you might be asking, what is a long arm? Well, that's why I'm making this video, because I have a lot of family and friends who saw my post on social media and Facebook and was asking, what does that do? Can you hem jeans with it? Do you make clothes? So I thought I'd make this short video to show you exactly what I do with my long arm. I make quilts. So a regular sewing machine it sits down and you move the fabric around to sew something. What a long arm does is you put your fabric, you attach it to a table with these rods, and then you move the machine. See how she's flowing? You move the machine to quilt a motif or stitch a motif on a quilt sandwich to make a finished quilt. So what I was going to do today is just walk you through how I set up the machine, and I'm going to work a few stitches. While this isn't live, if you want to leave questions and comments, I will most definitely go back and reach out or answer them when I can. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I have a piece of fabric here that is going to be my backing, and I've marked the top with a clip, and I'm just going to throw this over my table. Now my table has these bars have a cloth leader on them, and I use a system called the Red Snapper. So there is a plastic rod that runs the length of this cloth leader, and then I can take this part of it, it's got a little channel in it, and I can line up my edges so that my backing is straight, and I don't know if you can see it there, I just snap them into place. There are a lot of systems out there on how to load a quilt. The book basically just tells you to use straight pins to do it. I don't like that. To me, it takes way too much time, a lot of pins, and I end up sticking myself when I'm sewing because I'm kind of a leaner, and if I lean on the machine, I get stuck. So these are called Red Snappers, and they just pop on like this. That makes it so convenient. Okay, last one. Now, this backing, I did iron it, but then it was folded and sat down here for a while I finished the top. And a lot of times my client quilts, when they come, I ask them to make sure that they have their backing or all their fabric ironed, but the backing fabric a lot of times will have wrinkles in it or where the fold lines. So if you just take a mister, a spray bottle, and you just spray a little as you roll the quilt up, which is what I'm going to do now. You can hear it snapping. As I roll the quilt up, the tension from the fabric thrown over the machine will just pull those wrinkles right out. And it's not wet enough that it's going to like mold or start to get an odor. I'm not getting it super wet. Then, all right, now I'm going to pop around the other side. And sorry, I'm kind of out of frame, but what I do is basically the same thing that I did over there. You just line up the edge of your fabric and you snap these in. So if you happened upon my page, you're watching this, if you would give me a like, a subscribe, and a like, a thumbs up, all the things, share it, tell your friends. I'd like to just see how far this video will go. My other social media page is on Facebook, and it is called Small Town Stitchery. If you would like to give me a like, that would be, or like my page, that would be fabulous. I would be so much appreciative. Okay, back around to the front. Whew, I just slipped on that. All right, I'm going to give this one little final spray. Put that bottle up. And as you can see, it just releases those wrinkles. It's rolling up really pretty. Backing is secure. And works just like that. Okay. Next comes the batting. And I am using a 80-20 poly cotton batting. Sorry, I got it mixed up with my quilt top. That I have pre-measured. And I will just lay that. And what I do with my quilts, and I learned this off of Stitched by Susan, she floats her quilts, and I, instead of rolling them all onto these bars, she floats her quilt. So she'll put, we have the backing fabric, the batting, and then we're going to put the quilt top. Look how cute this is. Okay, so it is cute, and I do like it. But originally, this was supposed to be for a baby quilt. But the problem being the description, and yes, I bought it off of Amazon because I wanted something fast. It came in these 8 or 10 inch squares because I wanted a fast sew for a baby quilt that I didn't know I was making. And I got the fabric in, and it's not soft, guys. So I complained, and I got to keep the fabric, and they gave me a refund, which was awesome. But just be careful when you buy stuff off the internet. It's not always what it says it is. However, it will make a perfect quilt for myself, for like the back porch or my camper. So that's what, and I thought, well, if I'm going to do it, I'll use this one as my demo for this very first YouTube. And hopefully if you guys like it, and I can make lots more videos. That would be my end goal. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I really don't want this as this far up. So I'm going to roll that up a little bit just so it's like that. Now this is tight, but it's not like I can't bounce quarters off of it. And that's what you want. And I've already tested my fabric, but I think I'm going to test them again just to show you what I mean by testing it. Every time I start a new quilt, I do a test. So I usually pull off a piece of batting. Where all my scissors went. I pull off a piece of batting. That's what I'm going to do. And I have a piece of fabric right here. I'm just going to lay it on the end. And this is my sandwich. I'm going to bring my machine down, pull up my bottom thread, and I'm just going to quilt a few stitches. I'll look on the other side to see if my stitches look good, and they do. So we're off to the races. Bring up my thread, cut my ties. And what I thought I would do with this one, because it's something I'm practicing, they're called figure eights. I guess you always all know what a figure eight is. And I'm just trying to, I'm gonna start down here at the bottom. I'm gonna figure out how big of a figure eight I can do. I think I'm gonna cut this line in half. All right, so I'm gonna do 2 figure eights on each of these blocks. So to do that, another tip that I got from several quilters is if you lay a piece of tape, and I'm just going to eyeball where half of it is, because it's my quilt. Actually, I'll be more scientific. I'll actually look. So these blocks are 2 inches? No, 2 inches. 9.5. All right, so 9.5 would be 5. And I'm almost perfect where I thought it was going to be. Okay, so I'm going to start this. And I know it's kind of hard to see down there, but I'm going to make some figure eights. Bring up my bottom thread. Oh, and you know what? I forgot to put these on. These are just little clamps that just keep a good tension on everything. Actually, I got way ahead of myself because I was supposed to do one more thing. I tell you, when I first started, I had a checklist of everything that I needed to do, and I think I'm going to have to go back to my checklist because I keep forgetting. You're supposed to, how can I do this? All right, I'll drop this down. You're supposed to put a basting stitch right along the edge, and that keeps all your sandwiches and all your fabric from shifting. And I didn't do that, so let me get that done. Baste. And do that every time. I think I got it turned off and I don't. Okay, then I'm going to baste it along the top. Bring my bottom thread up and slowly baste upon the top. So a lot of times this basting thread, you do it close enough to the edge of the fabric that it is hidden in your binding and you don't have to take it out. And down this edge. I tell you what, YouTube is so full of information, different quilters showing you their techniques. Isn't the internet great, guys? Okay, so back to what I was doing. All right, so I did a loop there. I'm gonna pull up my bottom thread, secure it with a couple, and then we're gonna see if I can make some loops. Forgot to change my... Now this machine is loud, and what you hear is the machine, the engine is revving because I'm in what's called a precise mode. But let's see, now that I'm okay, I'm going to take another leap of faith and I'm going to put it on manual. So the motor won't rev, it's just going to be a consistent stitch, and it'll be up to me to run the machine. And these are just figure eights. I'm just going up and back. And around and back up, and then off the quilt. And I know that's not really showing, so let me see. I'm going to do another pass out. Let me see if I can move the camera for a minute, give you a better bird's eye view. Oh, one thing I forgot. You're supposed to secure all the edges. Well, because I'm floating my quilt, I have these magnetic bars that I just got from the hardware store, and they sit there and they keep that attached. Okay, so let me pull my needle up. Cut my threads. Get back down here. That first row is not good, but it's my quilt and I'm just going to leave it because since it's my quilt, this is a practice quilt. I'm going to put it on precise. All right, guys, I'm going to move the camera and hopefully you'll get a better view of what I'm doing. So sorry for this. All right, everybody. Okay, so I reset the camera and I am going to try to splice this together. Just a fancy hopefully you guys get a better view of the eights that I'm making here. Here we go. Do it this way. All right, let's see how this works. Probably going to have to do a little bit more on. There, that's better. The thread that I'm using is called Isocord. It's a 40 weight in the color Muslim. Something is wrong. Okay, so I don't know if you heard that, but the thread jumped out of one of the discs, and so I know I don't have good tension on this, so I'm gonna pull up my bobbin thread. It's not very touchy. And this happens sometimes. Okay. I'm going to pull up my bobbin thread, and I'm going to have to pick some of these stitches out. See if I can do it like this. But I know I don't have good tension on. So you can just see how I'm pulling that thread up. And this is just all part of the process. Sometimes it happens. I should have, normally I do a check to make sure everything is right. But this time I didn't, and it jumped out of one of the thread jumped out of one of the tension discs. But it shouldn't take me that long. All right, well, you got the gist, stitches, and the bottom, I'm gonna have to pick these out. Bottom ones are coming out just as easy. All right, guys, thanks. Sorry, this is my first video, and it's probably not very good, but I'm hoping you enjoyed it. See you next time. A little bit more. Okay, I'm going to pick all that out. Okay. I have good tension again. I'm going to rethread my needle. This, I'll tell you what, I have probably 30 of these little thread pickers, and they work excellent. All right, now I'm just going to match up my thread path, bring up my bobbin, my bottom thread. Man, my fingers aren't working today. Do a couple of quick lock stitches. There we go. And drop that down. I don't want these to get sucked in anywhere. See where I'm at, and here we go again. What I like about these loopy 8s is that you can make them as thick and chunky or as thin as you want. And then once the quilt has been finished and washed, it'll give a lovely puckering effect. It'll just be beautiful, and it'll kind of fade into the background, because while this fabric is not the best and it's not the softest, it is very pretty. Okay, guys, I think that is all for now. I'm going to get this last row done here and then take a break. Again, if you would, thank you for watching. If you would like and subscribe, share, I would be most appreciative. And I will see you the next time. Bye.